Hello, today we're going to do a how to shade 3D form on your person lesson. So I've already got my person drawn with their clothes. They're carrying some books, baseball cap. If you remember, the human form is basically made up of a bunch of cylinders. So when we shade a cylinder, you have a light source, and you shade from dark to light, going towards the light source. So there's no different on the human form. So the bottom edge of the sweatshirt is probably going to be darker. It's going to get lighter as it goes towards the top of the arm. You might have wrinkles in the sweatshirt. Anytime you're showing depth, it's going to be dark to light. So if I have some wrinkles in the sweatshirt under here, I'm going to start out dark and then get lighter, dark and then get lighter to show those wrinkles. And then I'm going to come back and do my local color of blue. So if the sweatshirt is blue, it's all going to be blue. And then the shadows have to be a darker blue. If you need to, you can use a different value of blue to get those darker blues. Especially if you're using colored pencils, it will depend on what kind of colored pencil set you have, how many different values you've got. So outside edge, underneath the armpit's going to be darker. Remember, with your paper, especially if you're working at home, you may not have good quality drawing paper. You might have more of like a copy paper. So copy paper is going to accept less color. You can saturate your paper and then you can't get it any darker. So if you're going to use a darker color like black to do more, to make it more obvious that there's a shadow there, you want to do a little bit of that first and then do your color over the top of it. Because if you push super, super hard to get a dark color, your paper's going to get saturated and you won't be able to change how it looks. Okay. I tried to use a darker blue to do some of those shadows and it didn't really show up, so I switched to a black. You have to problem solve, no matter what. I don't have a whole lot of time on these videos. I have like 5 minutes, so I was going to do a little bit with the clothes. It's always going to be darker down underneath, and you're going to get lighter as it comes out. So if you have a seam, like a pocket, that's going to be a little bit darker because it's going to have, it's raised up. You don't want to necessarily outline, but making it darker on the outside edge is going to make it look like the body's curving away. So you do a little bit of dark to light there, a little bit of dark to light on the inside edge. There would be a shadow underneath here because the sweatshirt is bulkier, or the long sleeve shirt, or whatever it is. On the skin, you may have multiple skin tones, you may not. If you did some sketching and you need to remove your pencil lines, that's a good idea. This is a very light skin tone, and I'm going to start with that. Remember when we learned to blend colors, we did a light, a medium, and a dark. You may have a little bit of like a light brown that you can use to do the 3D form. Just a tiny bit on the outside edges will help to make it look three-dimensional. You don't want to outline it. You do want to give it some color, skin tone. Just have to figure out where your light source is. If the light source is coming from this direction, it's going to be lighter here and a little bit darker on the outside edge. This person's carrying some notebooks. And again, you're going to have 3D form in your drawings. You might have, it's going to be shadowed down here on the cover. That's a big book. Some hatching lines for the pages of my book.